Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Anyways, hey y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? So Hey Ace. Hey. Anyways, this is another sit down vlog. This is actually not a girl chat vlog. It's just kind of like an update or just an overview. So I promised y'all in my first video that I was going to let y'all know, how it is being a neonatal nurse practitioner and just like the life in general. And so if you've been following me since the beginning, you went through the school journey with me. I passed my boards back in March of 2021. It is now September 2022. So y'all do the math of how long I've been a nurse practitioner. And I started working in April of 2021. So it has been a journey, and it still is a continuing journey of being a neonatal nurse practitioner. I still consider myself novice, but I do feel like I've come a long way. I'm not gonna keep saying I do not like saying when I talk. It blows me. It makes me feel like you don't know what you're talking about. So let me scratch it, rewind, and do this again. But yeah, so I've been a neonatal nurse practitioner for a little bit over a year, and it has been quite a journey. I feel like I have grown a lot, but I still have so much more growth to do. For y'all who do not know what a neonatal nurse practitioner is, so I was a NICU nurse where I worked bedside, direct hands-on with patient care. I still do some hands-on care, but I'm not as direct as I was as a bedside nurse. In this role as a neonatal nurse practitioner, especially in the hospital, some of our responsibilities include making a plan of care for these patients. So on a day-to-day basis, we come in and we review the patient's chart and their vital signs, their labs, everything, their diagnostic exam, x-rays, MRIs, all the things that go into that one patient. You review the last 24 hours, but you also need to review the history in order to kind of understand what's going on with that patient. And then you make a plan of care based on systems for that patient for the day. So the unit has been crazy. The acuity has been high, and we've been getting a lot of babies, and I feel like this is just like the new normal now. So at this point in time, we get about 10 to 12 patients on a level 4 NICU per person. Yeah, on a regular day, lately it's been a lot of 11, 12 patients per day that we care for. So we come in early in the morning and have to gather all our information, gather all the numbers, and prepare for what we call rounds. What happens in rounds is it's just kind of all the interdisciplinary teams come together, the nurse practitioner, the attending or doctor that also is covering that patient. And then we have dietitians, we have pharmacists that are also there, and the bedside nurses there. Sometimes the respiratory therapists will sit in, and sometimes they don't have the opportunity to, but that's kind of like who is usually at rounds. And the nurse practitioner, myself, will present the patients. We'll go from head to toe as far as the system, not necessarily in that order. But we'll go through each system. We'll talk about, okay, this patient this happened over the last 24 hours and we're currently on this, and then you come up with a plan together of what you want to do for the next 24 hours for this patient, and then you kind of predict, okay, if this occurs, then what's our next step if we have to escalate plan of care. So it's very rewarding. I love it. I feel like it just feels so good to be able to come in and, first of all, I don't never want any babies to be unstable, but obviously being on the NICU, that's just what's going to happen. So you'll come in and you'll have this unstable patient, but then you take all your knowledge, all your critical thinking, obviously working with the doctor, but still it's a lot of autonomy at my facility that I work at. And you throw everything you got. Obviously, you're thinking it through and you're not just doing anything, and you're doing the things to make this patient better. And then to leave and see the patient kind of stabilize. Obviously, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes by the time I leave, I'm still trying to get this baby right, and I'm passing on to night shift. Like, I'm sorry, this is your unstable patient, et cetera, et cetera. But there are more better outcomes than there are not. So it's a really rewarding role. Again, but it is very challenging because as a nurse practitioner, you have a lot on your plate. So again, like I said, you come up with a plan of care, you also do the rounds, but also we are the people who everyone contacts directly. So if the bedside nurse has an issue, I'm the person that the bedside nurse is gonna call and say, hey, Angel, this baby is doing X, Y, Z, and I have to be the one to kind of like sit and, we'll ask questions. Okay, what happened first? What happened this? Go through the chart before I make a decision to make sure that my decision makes sense, and then assess the baby, etc. In addition to that, I also am the contact person for any consult. So we, again, level 4 NICU, we have all different interdisciplinary team. They don't round with us, but they do round with their own team on that patient. So for example, we have cardiologists, pulmonology, neurology, like all those different people. I'm the person that they'll also contact me if they have any concerns or changes, and I'll contact them if I want to consult them to get them involved in the patient, or if I have questions or concerns as well regarding that patient. So I'm on the phone probably out of the 12 and a half hours that I'm at work. I'm literally on the phone 12 and a half, not consistently, but like a lot. I'm on the phone a lot throughout the day because I'm the point of contact for the patient. Additionally, obviously, all of us in the healthcare role, nurse practitioner, doctors, everyone, we are responsible for updating the parents, talking to the parents. So that's also one thing that I have to do, talk to the parents, update them, educate them, answer any concerning questions that they have. So that's another, being on the phone. And then we also get to do procedures. So we get to do intubation, lumbar punctures, umbilical line, so IVs through the umbilicus. Some of you guys may, if you don't work in the NICU, you may not be familiar with, but we do that. Chest tubes, sorry. I was like, I know I missed the chest tube insertions as well. So we are the ones responsible for those procedures as well. And then we also go to the deliveries. Obviously, so if I have a team of patients, I'm not the one going to the deliveries. We have what we call a float person, but there are times when I'm the float person, so I'll go to the deliveries, and I'm responsible for like tucking that baby in. If we admit the baby, I'm like doing the first note ever. I'm putting in the orders, so things like that. So it comes with a lot of responsibility. And I think the most scariest part of it is just like, you're like the decision maker. Like obviously you have your attending and your doctor that's with you, but at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of autonomy. So yeah, if there's like a very critical patient, I'm going to my attending or doctor. But if there's like just a standard type of thing that I can make that decision and place the orders in, I'm making that decision. But you really have to like be sure, be confident in what you're doing. You really have to critical think. If you're thinking about going to school to be a neonatal nurse practitioner or a nurse practitioner period, critical thinking is like, you know how in nursing school they're like critical think, blah, blah. Like that's like the foundation, but it's a whole different level when you get up to this role, because you truly have to make sense of everything. And this role as a neonatal nurse practitioner, you're not like specialized to one part of the body. You're not just on the heart or the rest. You have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together to make decisions for this patient. So you have to be really diligent with, if I order a medication, like, okay, with the side effects of the medication, like I'm ordering this medication, for example, if I order like a nebulizer, the albuterol, for a patient because we're having some issues with our respiratory system and breathing, or some wheezing, or we sound a little tight, like great, I'm gonna give you this albuterol, but your heart rate is already 200. Like, so I also have to be careful with that, because a side effect of albuterol is tachycardia. So it's just like, you really have to be mindful and like think everything through. And so you have to take your time. You can't rush it. You can't just guess. And the thing that I love the most about the particular unit I work on is that you're never alone. Like, you're never alone. Even if your attending is gone for the day, you always have your colleagues, other nurse practitioners with more experience, and then the other doctors that are there that will answer your questions. So if you're just 100% not sure, or you just don't feel comfortable escalating care, you always have somebody to go to. So you're never alone. So that's kind of like a summary of the role, and obviously it can be so much more detailed. That would be like a whole hour-long video, and I do plan on doing like a day in the life of, but days in the life of at work are very difficult only because of HIPAA. I cannot show but so much. So Like I may like do little clips of little things that obviously protect the patient's information, but it won't be like an official day in the life because unfortunately I can't show but so much. But so yeah, I can also, if something that you guys desire is like a talk through day in the life of, I definitely don't mind doing that. My first year anniversary of when I passed my boards was the hardest day of my NICU, my neonatal nurse practitioner experience, or NNP. And I had the sickest baby, and it was really sad. I think that's really the most I can say without going too far, but I had a very sick baby. Unfortunately, the baby did pass away, and like that was the hardest day. But also I felt, and then my teams were like, my whole team, I had like a team of sick babies. But although it was very sad for me, I also was very proud of myself because the sick team that I had that day was the first day that I really felt like a nurse practitioner, like legitimately. So that's like the day where I like, obviously I felt like a nurse practitioner, but you know how it's always like imposter syndrome. It's kind of like, is this real? Am I really here? Am I really supposed to be in this role? Like imposter syndrome. But that day, like I was just like the nurses would call me with, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. And I'm about to say it quicker, but in that moment, I was like taking my time and making sure I was like saying it right. But I was like, okay, well, we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. I like actually felt the autonomy that day, and I felt good. And then attending, whenever I would talk to her, she would be like, yeah, I would have done the same thing. She was in agreement with my plan. So it really felt good that, you know, like, okay, Angel, you're getting this. Like, you actually got it. Like, you're starting to feel, I had that confidence. Like, obviously, look, I'm not cocky. I know that I have so much more to learn, and I don't know everything. And there's some days when I'm like, what the heck? But overall, I felt like that day, like my confidence was like up, like, okay, you can do this. Like, you got this. Like, you're supposed to be here. So that was that. As far as like the hardest part, I feel like for me, I feel like it all can be challenging. I think sometimes the most difficult part or scariest part is deliveries, because you just don't know what you're gonna get. I feel like I've actually gotten more confident and comfortable, but still at the same time I still get a little like antsy, like a little bit nervous, like I don't know what this baby's gonna come out like. And I didn't, like, some people come off orientation and they have this black cloud and they get everything, they get experience on all the things. I have not had that moment where I've had to resuscitate a baby in the delivery room yet. So like I'm a year in and there's still things I haven't encountered, and there's gonna be some more things that I haven't encountered. So like I think that's my worry, or not my fear. I feel like I can do it, but I'm just like waiting for that day that it happens where I have to resuscitate, and just praying that I do great. Like that, I think that the fear of unknown at deliveries is kind of scary. We work at a teaching hospital, and we have a lot of like residents and fellows and doctors, and then we have a lot of like new nurse practitioners in. So I feel like one area that I do want to improve on, or you get more practice in, is procedures. I feel pretty confident with lumbar punctures. Like I feel like my last few, knock on wood, I have not missed, or we call it lumbar punctures for those who are not in the healthcare field, spinal tap. You may have heard of it as well. But so I feel pretty confident with that one. I feel pretty good with chest tubes. It's just that I haven't done one in a while. Again, because I said that we have a lot of residents in the teaching hospital, we have a lot of new nurse practitioners, because we share these procedures. So a lot of times I may not have patients that need it. And so if there is a patient in the unit, the first person or people that may get it would be the fellow or the new neonatal nurse practitioners, because they also need that practice. I had my chance when I was by myself, when it wasn't a lot of new people, and I had the opportunity, but then it gets spaced out. So what makes you better at things in life is repetition and constantly doing it over and over again. So if I haven't done this procedure in 3 months, the next time I do it again, I'm gonna be a little bit rusty and have to kind of like dust up on those skills, which is fine. It's a practice, but that's just definitely a goal of mine to improve on, to get more practice on, is the procedures. One of the ones I really want to get better with, like consistently, which obviously I know everybody has their good days and their bad days, is intubations. When I went to night shift, I feel like that's when I got that great experience with night. He gets jealous. If the attention's not on him, he's jealous. Ace, be quiet. it's inspiration. I got like a lot of experience because I wasn't sharing it. Any information that came to the unit, I had the opportunity to do because I was the only new person on the night shift. But day shift, that's a little bit more difficult. This past week I did have a few, and I missed one and I got one. So, you know, you have your good days and your bad days, and it's okay. I just continue to practice. I don't beat myself up. I continue to know and tell myself that I'm new. But that's kind of like the sum up of how it's going as a nurse practitioner. I think I told y'all on my welcome back video, my intro video, that I'll be having a student this fall. So I'm excited about that, to teach. I feel like teaching is your best teacher. So that's kind of where I stand. I just actually think this is a good befitting video because I just had my year review with my supervisor and it went all good. So I'm excited, all good stuff, and I'm just excited. So I'll keep y'all posted on how it's going. Again, I'm gonna do other videos, and if you want to hear more details about it, if you want to have more tips, advice, if you want to hear any specific like disease processes or me to go over anything like that, then please feel free to comment below. Let me know. Oh, last, I just want to say I also am teaching lectures with the new registered nurse graduates for NICU as well. So that's exciting too. I feel like I've grown a lot in 1 year. I've been like doing a lot on the unit and just like being involved and just like loving my career. So I'm happy. I'm tired. Them shifts be tiring, but I'm very happy. So thank y'all for tuning in. Again, if you have more topics, more questions, please comment below. Make sure you hit that subscribe and bell button so you can get the notification when I post a new video. Please follow me on Instagram. By now, you know what it is. And I'll catch y'all at the next video.